who is one famous person that you've met, Russ, that has completely surprised you for any reason, good or bad?
I met Jurgen Klopp, and he was amazing. I was in Sydney. I was in Bondi, and his wife, because I ran out with no shoes on, like I really sprinted out after him, and his wife offered her flip flops to me because the floor was really hot, and I was sort of like, kind of slightly.
Yeah.
Sort of, did you wear them?
Let's do some get-to-know questions to get to know Russell Howard. Go on, Stevie.
Okay, you are the first guest of the year.
Yes.
So we'd like to know, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Not really. Like, probably, I'd love my son to say mum. That would be, because he's saying dada. And we think he said Fred the other day, which is the name of our dog. And in terms of like, the hierarchy in the house, he's got that wrong. It's definitely Mum, Fred. So I feel a bit bad that he's saying my name when,
So how much work are you putting into this? Are you just
not enough?
Mum,
not enough. Yeah, on a mumma. So
You're doing that a lot.
So I kiss along his sort of cheek and I go mumma, 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 and he kind of likes it anyway.
There's a chance he might start thinking you're mum.
I would take that. Yeah, but I do. He doesn't know that I'm dada. He just says dad, 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 dad all the time.
So I'm not a parent. You two are. Can you train a kid to say certain words?
Well, we're about to figure that out.
That's what we're learning.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, exactly. And then the interesting thing is, if you can do that, then I probably have to keep my uncle away from him, or his uncle rather, my brother, because he'll come back and he'll
slag.
Possibly not slag, but definitely fap gap is my brother's. Fuck a pig, get a piglet. That's his phrase, and he uses that to describe things going wrong. My brother uses phrase, but the thing is with my brother's phrases, they don't mean anything. Right. Do you know what I mean? It's like my brother reminds me a lot of Liam Gallagher. There was a clip I saw the other day where my brother can win an argument in the similar way that Liam Gallagher. Like this guy says to Liam, he says, "Would Oasis still be Oasis without Noel?" Big, deep question that hits at the ego. And Liam Gallagher goes, "Oh, do you know what I mean? Fucking, like, would Jesus Christ be a pervert if he had a crisp packet on his head?" And like, argument dealt with. Because like, you've taken it to such, and my brother's like that. It's just like the other day, he stole 2 pieces of Tupperware from our house. And I was like, "Have you stolen my Tupperware?" "Well, why do people climb mountains?" And you're like, "Well, that's got nothing to do with the question." But suddenly, man needs a purpose, Russ.
Yeah.
Like, so we're kind of off on this journey that means nothing. My brother's the king of that. So the kid would probably come back saying sort of deep, weird things.
I like that. I always thought if you were to get mugged, do you think it'd be a good tactic just to sort of act crazy yourself?
Yeah.
Do you think that's
a really good point, actually? Yeah. If you kind of like, I think if you acted like you were really getting off on it, that might freak out the mugger. Yeah, I'd not thought of that. Of like, finally, yeah, I've got loads in my pockets. Yeah. Go for the pockets. I'll fucking leave this. Yeah. I got mugged once. His most middle class mugging. When I was living in Primrose Hill, and this kind of like really pasty teenage kid came up to me. I had some cupcakes, big box of cupcakes, because my friend had just had a kid. I was sort of taking the cupcakes to her, and this kid went, "You better give me one of them cupcakes." And I looked at him and I was like, you can't have them. My friend's just given birth. And this kid went, "Oh, I'm sorry, tell her congratulations." Like that. This amazing juxtaposition of like, I hit him with the truth.
Yeah.
That I turned him from a life of sugary crime just by being, truthful.
Russ, where's the most unusual place you've ever been recognised?
I remember having a weird sort of, it was in Tesco, which is not necessarily unusual, but this guy was really peering at my basket, and he was sort of looking at it in Leamington Spa, where I used to live, and he just was like, "There's nothing funny in there." I said, "What?" And he was just like, "Really, what's that?" I said, "It's Weetabix." It's not funny. What's funny about Weetabix? I was like, what? I just didn't know what he was driving at. He's, fuck's sake. He was really upset that I didn't have like comedy foods.
Does he think that's where you're getting your material?
Well, exactly. But he looked at me like, "Look, he's got 2 melons." Like, I didn't understand like what comedy foods were. But it was this really weird. He was genuinely, so it wasn't the weirdest place.
Yeah.
It was definitely the weirdest. It became odd.
Right.
Because he was just like glaring at my kind of Weetabix.
Because isn't it true that like comedians, they can meet people in the street and like,
really disappoint them.
yeah, right,
Yeah, yeah.
right.
And the amount of times I've had people walk away from me. Do you know what I mean? I'm kind of done now, mate. Yeah, you sort of realise you're used to sort of speaking to thousands of people at the same time, and it's like sometimes a one-on-one is just tense.
Because they expect you to sort of like do your job live, isn't it? Like be funny now, like, which you wouldn't get with any other profession, would you? Really?
No, it'd be yeah. If you imagine if you were a gynecologist, it'd be brutal. but it is that thing of definitely. I know a lot of comedians who are very kind of quiet and dark off stage, but I'm kind of more myself, really. So it's kind of like if I've got something that I'm working on in my head, if there's a way of using somebody as a guinea pig, then I will absolutely do that. And it's so funny because I'll just see my wife. Like sometimes, you know what I mean, we'll meet 3 people on like a walk, and by the 3rd time I'm still doing the same bit, and she's like, Jesus Christ. Just like using these people. Oh, hi, Ross, can I get a photo? Oh, yeah. So have you noticed? Like, so sad, man. But yeah.
It's like I have that same bit, don't I, when people ask, when they see us together and they ask for a photo, and I say like, I always go, yeah, £15, like that, and I go, but if you want him as well as tenner for the pair.
Oh, there you go.
I just get insulted every time.
It never goes down well. Like when you tell people that I took a pen round with me, do you remember?
I used to tell people that he'd carry a pen just in case people wanted his autograph.
Nice.
Yeah,
it was funny though that it's sort of, my mate Sam was like that. That is one of the cool things. Like if you're like normal and then you sort of suddenly find yourself in this weird world of fame, there's something so cool with just hanging out with your pals that you've always hung out with, and then they pick up on the fact that things have changed and the fun they can have with it. So my mate Sam, who's my oldest friend from school, he's like sort of half Mexican, half English, dresses like sort of cross with David Bowie and Bilbo Baggins. He's got his own style. And
I'm trying to imagine what that would look like.
Totally, but he's kind of
My brain
he's
just
brilliant.
buffered.
But he's really, yeah. And he, we were, where were we? Oh, that was it. We were in a pub in Camden, and he started telling people that he was my, not guru, what's the word?
Mentor?
Not mentor, it's like shaman. So he goes, and he looks like he could be, he's kind of got long flowing hair, and he goes, yeah, I'm his shaman, like that. And I look like the kind of bloke who might have a shaman. So he was like, but he's going, he can't, that's it. And he kept just doing that. He goes, you can't go into Oaxaca, it blocks his energy, like that. And like, sort of, but I love the fact, that's exactly what I would do. Yeah. I would make my famous mate's life a bit strange. So there'll be about 8 people in Camden that I think that Russell Howard's fucking weird. His energy gets blocked by Mexican food. He can't go there. But yeah, that's probably the weirdest thing. But that pen thing's good, man.
Have you ever been recognised anywhere weird?
When I went to Milan, I just wanted to go to San Siro. There wasn't a game on. I just wanted to go have a look at the shop and buy a shirt from the stadium. And as I walked in, someone walked out and was like, Stevie White. I was like, hello.
That's cool.
That's probably my coolest one. That's just happy hour list.
Aren't they?
He was English, though.
They're pulling down the San Siro, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're turning it into flats.
Yeah.
Isn't that mental? Like, that is just like, I think like that's one of the stadiums.
Yeah, you can't.
The world is going to lose it. And it's just so, just the curls. It's beautiful.
I thought Upton Park had that.
I played at Upton Park.
Yeah, me too.
Isn't it mad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I'm a big West Ham fan.
I know. I see Paolo Di Canio.
Yeah, do you know who painted that, Russ?
Who?
Right, let's play a quick game of, you can ask me 10 yes or no questions. It's someone from the world of football.
It's David James.
No, someone else has guessed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is he good at painting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that, yeah. And he's like really well smart. He can speak like 5 languages as well, yeah.
Fascinating, really interesting bloke.
Yeah.
Who is it? So he's plays football.
I'll give you this, he's a manager.
Brendan Rodgers.
Ian Holloway.
That's good. No way.
And if you look at the captain armband, you'll see he's actually spelt it Capt Ian.
He spelled captain
We
wrong.
don't know if he's done that on purpose or whether...
If he has done that on purpose, that is brilliant.
It's
isn't it?
amazing.
I miss Holloway, man.
Yeah.
Like it just like it felt like those managers, will they ever come back? But that, just particularly he's just got that West Country. I had so many football managers like him. We used to have this bloke called Adrian Timms, who was our kind of manager when I was like 20. And he had this sort of very unusual accent to the West Country. But I remember he was like 20 and he went into this big tirade about, you know, when you gentlemen, we're not at the party. We were like losing like 3-0 or something at half time. They're at the party. We're waiting for the taxi. They're at the party, dancing with our wives. None of us have got wives. We're 20. He goes, yeah, we're just holding on to our coat. Our wives are being grinded on by them at the party. So go out there. We go 4-4-2. We keep it. And it was like this. We're all sort of sat around utterly baffled.
Did it work?
Ian Holloway, no, of course not. But like, but Holloway had that same energy of just the words were like fighting to come out. I loved him.
I love when he says, what does he say about Cristiano Ronaldo? He goes,
yeah, what is that?
He's like, he's got a body of a Greek god.
Yeah.
He's an incredible footballer. I just hope like he's hung like a fucking hamster.
Yeah.
He's so good. He's back in football now, isn't he? He's back in management, Holloway.
Who's he looking after?
I think I'm going to get it wrong, but it's someone like Grimsby Town.
Okay, yeah.
Like that.
Good on him, man.
Because he's just hit 1,000 games. But anyway, let's continue. Who is one famous person that you've met, Russ, that has completely surprised you for any reason, good or bad?
I met Jurgen Klopp, and he was amazing. So it was more of a surprise that I was in Sydney. I was in Bondi, an Airbnb with my wife and son, and we were just looking out at the road. It was in December, and this guy walked past, and I sort of recognised the walk, and it was Klopp. And I sort of ran out and said hello, and he knew who I was, which blew my mind. And we had this sort of 10-minute chat, and he was incredible. And it was that thing of like, it would be like you meeting Di Canio and him going, "Oh, I love the podcast."
Yeah.
And then having a moment. And he was brilliant. It wasn't a surprise, but it's that lovely thing where in a country I love, I met a man who has given me so many joyous moments.
Yeah.
And he knew who I was, and we had a hug, and it was beautiful. He's such a wonderful guy. And his wife, because I ran out with no shoes on, like I really sprinted out after him. And his wife offered her flip-flops to me because the floor was really hot. And I was sort of like, you know, kind of slightly.
Yeah.
Did you wear them?
No, it would have felt weird. I sort of sat there or stood there rather, and just slightly melted.
That's an incredible story.
Yeah, it was amazing, man.
I just assumed, because you're Russell Howard, you probably met Klopp at one of the many things you do in life, but just to have a random sort of colliding of worlds like that.
That's what I mean. Cool. But while I was on holiday and he was on holiday, and it was just, it was nuts. And my son had just kicked a ball for the first time, so
wow,
there was a bit of serendipity involved.
Love it.